Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Hope you are all doing well. Jebber Gaming Jaws here, coming to you again, wanting to talk about platformers, because lately I have had a bit of a renaissance with the platforming genre as a whole. Overall, it's not my go-to. It has never been my go-to. I grew up with a Sega Genesis. I played a lot of Sonic as a kid. Sonic 2, I pretty much know the first like 5 or 6 levels like the back of my hand. I can play them now, decades later after not touching them, and still know where every secret is and get through them pretty simply. So I liked Sonic, but it was never something that was just like a life-changing experience. It's certainly not what turned me into a hardcore gamer in any regards. It was more like a preamble, and where it was like, oh, this is kind of fun. So I don't know what happened exactly. I know, okay, so I played some really heavy-duty games on PS4. The first one being God of War, and then I jumped directly into Horizon Zero Dawn. I actually got a platinum trophy on that. That's my very first ever platinum trophy. I've never really paid much attention to trophies before, but I was having so much fun with the game that I just did it, and it was really, really great. It wasn't that hard of a platinum trophy to get. I mean, it was definitely work, but it didn't feel like it was asking too much of me, which was kind of where I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. And really glad that I did. Different topic completely. I recommend those games. If you haven't played them, go for it. But at the end of playing those, I was feeling a little bit burned out. I was like, oh my gosh, like I've had these like deeply entrenched, story-driven, active, humongous worlds, lots to do, sucking up lots of time, and I just kind of felt like I needed a palate cleanser. I just needed to step away a little bit and do something a little more simple, a little more just not all engrossing, not hitting me emotionally, mentally draining, that sort of thing. So a lot of gaming I've learned is about pacing yourself. So it was so ironic because I've owned this game for so long. Obviously, it's a freaking classic. So many people have loved this game. It's not even like I haven't played this game before. Like, I've played it quite a bit. My wife is a humongous Mario fan, so her and I have played this a lot together. But most of the time, it was more like I was just there because she was playing it, and I was glad that she was having fun with it, and I would screw around with it. And, like if we got to something hard, like I would jump in and try and, maybe beat a boss or something. But I don't know what happened. I started playing Mario World and I got completely freaking hooked. And I am so glad that I did. And man, I just have to say that the experience really was kind of like a new life-changing thing, because it's opening up this entire genre that has decades and decades of games that I've just kind of always been on the fence with and kind of on the outside with. And I'm really happy to be diving into like some new stuff. So even before I had dived into this, I played Castlevania 4, and this has really become one of my favorite games, like probably in my top 20. Like, it's in there somewhere. Like, I really like this. I've played through it multiple times. Maybe like 6 times now I've probably played through it, and it's just been so much freaking fun. So yeah, all of a sudden things started clicking with me, and it got me thinking back to Sonic, and I was like, what is it about Sonic that I didn't love? Mario to me is so precise. If I die in Mario, I feel like it's entirely based on my skill, and it's not based on chance. The thing that people seem to love about Sonic, and that Sonic was very well known for, was you gotta go fast. You're going fast. You're going so fast. But what drives me crazy about it is you start going fast and you're spinning around and everything's great, and then out of nowhere, bam, you just hit something, and it's like all your rings go flying, and you know, it's like the momentum just gets beat out of you, and it's not like a skill thing. It's just like, so you can potentially memorize where things are going to be and avoid them that way, but that never was compelling to me in the way that finally now I've experienced. Like, for the first time in my life, I know what everybody's talking about with Mario. Like, I love Mario now. So going back into it, I started playing Mario 3 again. I had gotten to World 7 probably like 3 different times, and had just like never actually beaten it. And mostly I would say that was due to not having the save feature, because even though you can get the warp whistles, which is what I would generally end up having to do, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work just to get back to where you were. So I ended up looking into getting this for the Super Nintendo, Super Mario All-Stars, because of the save feature. This was going really well. I got up to, I think, like the last level or two in World 8, so I got much further. And then my save just got deleted. And I was looking it up. Apparently, that's kind of common when you get into the later levels with this. A lot of the times the save feature isn't that dependable, so that was really freaking annoying. Long story short, eventually I ended up getting my NES Classic, did the warp whistle thing, got to where I had been, where I had gotten to naturally, and was able to save my game. And I didn't use any save states or anything like that. I did everything the way I would if I was playing it on an actual Nintendo, like an original Nintendo. And I was able to finally beat Mario Brothers 3, and just so awesome. I mean, those two games, holy crap, just amazing. So from that point on, then I'm kind of like jonesing. It was really a weird state for me to be in. So a couple of years ago, I picked up Shovel Knight for the Wii U, and I played it a little bit, and I liked it okay, but I was going on vacation, so I decided to pick it up for my 3DS. Again, got freaking addicted. I ended up beating the game on both of these. Like, I was playing through it simultaneously on each system, not wanting it to end. That game is freaking great. If you haven't played it, you have to. Currently, I'm about halfway through one of the extra games. I think it's called Spectre Knight, something like that. If you've played it, you know what I'm talking about. And that, again, is just so phenomenal. Just so much good stuff. So my most recent kind of action platformer has been Dracula X for the Super Nintendo. Now, this is a reproduction cart. This is not authentic. The problem with this is, after playing Super Castlevania 4, I've just been jonesing so hard for some Castlevania, especially like in the same era, like the 16-bit era. I've been loving having this experience. The cartridge itself is like over $200 if you want to buy the authentic thing. I'm not doing that for a game where I play 7 levels. Like, if it was one of my absolute favorite RPGs, I could see maybe like taking a long time, saving up, you know, purchasing that, but that's going to be few and far between. That has to be like literally like a holy grail sort of thing. I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a game. So it was so great to get this for $20 on eBay. You know, I don't know of another way right now that I can pay for this. I would like to pay them. If they have this on a virtual console or something like that, I would spend the $10 or whatever just so that I can, you know, technically legally have this game. And I'll look into that a little bit more. I just haven't gotten there yet. But I have to say, I've put so much work into having authentic consoles on a really nice big CRT with HD Retrovision component cables. So like, I don't want to emulate it on a computer. I don't want to put it on a SNES Classic and play it on an HD TV. Like, I really wanted to play this thing in the most authentic way possible without spending 200 and some bucks on the cartridge. This was great. Love it. The game has been so much fun. I've been up to like level 5. I still haven't beaten the game. I've gotten a little bit to the point where, okay, I'm ready to dive into something a little more meaty. I actually picked up The Witcher 3 again and played through the Hearts of Stone DLC, which is probably my favorite expansion for The Witcher 3. It's just so good. Obviously, if you don't know, The Witcher 3 is my favorite game of all time, and the expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, are just phenomenal. And if there's something on the PS4 that you haven't played and you are looking for something, you have to play that. That's, okay, I'm going to be done talking about that now because I just freaking love it. So finally now, a few days ago, I jumped back into Yakuza Kiwami. Not back into, for the first time. This has been on my backlog for 11 months. I bought it 11 months ago. This is the original Yakuza game. It was originally on the PS2. This is an HD remaster. I played Yakuza 0 a year or two ago and loved it. And so it's really cool to just like hop right back into the series. In a few weeks from now, Yakuza Kiwami 2 is going to be coming out on the PS4 again. I highly recommend that. But it's just so shocking to realize that there's an entire genre that I missed out on because I didn't play the best ones at the time. And I don't want to knock anybody who's a big-time Sonic fan. I know a lot of people are super nostalgic for Sonic. They play it now and they enjoy it, and I don't want to take anything away from that experience. But literally, if there is no way that I shouldn't love Sonic. Like, if there is someone who should be nostalgic for it and think that it's the best game ever, it should be me. It was my very first video game that we owned, other than the Atari 2600. When my dad brought home a Sega Genesis, it came with Sonic, the first one, and we played the crap out of it. And then we played Sonic 2, and then we played Sonic 3, and then we played Sonic and Knuckles, you know, like, and that was all while I was a little kid, 8 or 9 years old-ish. And so if anybody really has experienced a breadth of Sonic and should think that it's like the best thing in the world, it's me. So again, I can't knock the games. Like, they're not bad games, but man, like, Mario is sublime, and it really makes me wish that I had grown up with those games. Although it's really fun, I do have to say, picking it up and getting to play it now for the first time ever. So many people by now, they've played through those games hundreds of times, and it was just really fun to get to start playing it and then be like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. That was a very, very cool recent experience that I've had with gaming. So just wanted to talk a little bit about platformers and my experience with it and what's been going on with me in gaming. There's a lot of other action platformers that I'd like to get into a lot more. I've played Mega Man 2. I haven't played any of the other Mega Man games other than Mega Man X I do own on the Super Nintendo. I'd like to get a lot more of the Castlevania games, some of the older, more classic ones. I recently downloaded Bloodstained on the PS4. Not loving it because I don't like playing classic games with a new controller. It just doesn't feel right to me. I'm thinking that I'll probably actually wait until I get a Switch and use like a classic controller on there, because they apparently have a good one and mine PS4 does not. So don't want to ramble on too much about this, but just I am so happy to be a Mario fan now. Like, this is the first time in my whole life that I could literally say, like, I'm a fan of Mario. I am loving Mario. I am excited to play more of them. I really want to play through Mario 64. Like, I've started that game probably like 4 or 5 times, have never gotten real far. I've gotten, maybe like 10 levels in or something, gotten, quite a few of the stars for different levels and stuff, but never just dived in head first. I'm really excited to play some Mario Odyssey eventually when I get the Switch. But yeah, that's just been a really, really fun thing that I did not see coming. I'm just into RPGs and these long, crazy games, but I finally got myself to where I was like, okay, I need to take a break from that for just like a second at least. And who would have ever known? Mario was there, and Castlevania and Shovel Knight have all been there holding my hand this whole way, giving me these experiences I never thought that I was missing out on. It's been awesome. Sonic, I love you. You just ain't where it's at for me personally. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your experiences with either Sonic or Mario, or can you see what I'm saying, or are you like a huge Sonic fan? You're not going to convince me, okay? I've played enough Sonic. If you're a huge Sonic fan, I can appreciate that a lot, but like, don't tell me that I haven't played enough Sonic. Like, I've played the shit out of Sonic. So, it's just my personal experience and my personal opinion now, and I don't know, never expected it, honestly. Alright guys, peace out. Have a good one.